The San Francisco 49ers have recently made a move that caught a lot of people off guard, and it's definitely worth breaking down what's going on behind the scenes. From what we know so far, the 49ers are still actively searching for ways to bolster their wide receiver group. They've just brought in a player whose name might not immediately jump out at you when you hear it associated with San Francisco, but you'll likely remember his time with his previous team. As we speak, this player is on his way to meet with the 49ers staff. And that's not the kind of thing a team does if they aren't genuinely interested in making something happen. When you look at this situation closely, it becomes clear that this isn't just a casual visit. The 49ers are evaluating whether this particular receiver could be the right fit for their offensive system. And given the team's current aspirations, every roster decision matters. Over the past 4 seasons, this player has shown flashes of being a reliable target, with the exception of his most recent campaign. His target share was respectable, and he's proven capable of handling a significant workload when given the opportunity. However, the real question is how he would fit into San Francisco's unique offensive scheme. To be fair, this isn't a player you bring in expecting him to be a number 1 receiver. His skill set aligns more with being a solid third option in the passing game, or perhaps a serviceable number 2 under certain conditions. The 49ers have a very specific offensive identity, and it's unlikely that this player would immediately jump into a starring role. However, that doesn't mean he wouldn't be valuable. His efficiency metrics are particularly intriguing. Yards per attempt and yards per catch that stand out, even if his touchdown totals hover in the single digits. Those numbers still place him toward the top of that range, which is a positive sign. Another key factor is the coaching philosophy. In San Francisco, under Kyle Shanahan, players often get the chance to elevate their game thanks to creative play designs and a system that emphasizes maximizing every receiver's strengths. This player had a breakout performance not too long ago, delivering 4 touchdowns in a single high-profile game, despite his team suffering a loss. That kind of production, even if sporadic, shows he has the potential to be a difference maker in the right environment. Health is always a concern with NFL players, but in this case, there's a lot to like. Throughout his career, he has generally stayed on the field, missing very few games. He's built solidly with a strong frame, even if he's not the tallest or the fastest guy out there. His hands might not be considered elite, but they're reliable enough to get the job done. When you put all this together, it makes sense why the 49ers would at least want to explore the possibility of adding him to their roster. But what exactly would the 49ers be hoping to achieve with this move? Some fans and analysts are speculating that this could be a sign of bigger changes coming within the receiver room. There's chatter about how this might affect other players on the depth chart, with some suggesting it could be a precursor to a trade. Specifically, there's been talk that bringing in someone like Gabe Davis might indicate the team is preparing to part ways with Brandon Ayuk. From my perspective, however, that feels like a stretch. Could Ayuk be traded? Absolutely. The NFL is a business and nothing is ever guaranteed. But positioning Gabe Davis as a 1-for-1 replacement doesn't add up. Ayuk brings a different level of skill and consistency, especially when he's playing at his best. Davis has had his moments, but he's never been asked to fill that kind of primary receiver role on a consistent basis. If the 49ers were to move Ayuk, they would likely need to adopt a more committee-based approach among their receivers, which they've done in the past. However, that strategy comes with its own set of challenges. It's important to remember that what Davis offers is not about replacing Ayuk, but rather about adding depth and bringing in a veteran presence with proven efficiency. His opportunities might have been limited in Buffalo, but when given the chance, his production per target has been noteworthy. That kind of efficiency is something every team values, especially a contender like San Francisco that's looking to maximize every snap. From a roster construction standpoint, adding Davis would be a savvy move if the price is right, but it shouldn't be seen as a move that dictates Ayuk's future with the team. Those are separate conversations, though they naturally get linked because of timing and positional overlap. Fans will always speculate, but sometimes a depth signing is just that, a move to strengthen the back end of the receiver rotation without necessarily signaling a seismic shift. While we're on the subject of roster improvements, There's another area that has been highlighted by analysts as a point of focus for the 49ers this offseason: the interior offensive line. If you're planning to invest heavily in your franchise quarterback, it only makes sense to fortify the protection in front of him. Despite efforts to shore up that unit, there's still room for improvement, especially in terms of veteran depth. One name that keeps popping up in these discussions is Dalton Risner. His experience and ability to protect the quarterback make him an attractive option. Last season, he earned a solid pass blocking grade. And while that doesn't tell the entire story, it does indicate that he can be a stabilizing force on the line. Risner is the kind of player who might not make headlines, but his contributions on the field and in the locker room are valuable. Interestingly, Risner has developed a bit of a cult following among fans, thanks in part to his stints with the Denver Broncos and Minnesota Vikings. Over the past few seasons, he signed a series of one-year deals, playing almost a mercenary role, yet consistently proving his worth. His leadership qualities and team-first mentality are well documented, making him an appealing option for teams looking to strengthen their locker room culture as much as their on-field performance. Adding someone like Risner would not only improve the 49ers' depth along the offensive line, but also bring a veteran presence who understands his role and embraces it. He's aware that he's not being signed as a star, but as a reliable contributor who can step in when needed and elevate the unit as a whole. His pass blocking proficiency is particularly valuable for a team like San Francisco, where protecting the quarterback has been an area of concern. Of course, run blocking remains a crucial aspect of the 49ers' offensive identity, especially given their reliance on the zone running scheme. Risner's ability to adapt to that style would be an important factor in any potential signing. But when you look at the big picture, the priority is clearly on improving pass protection. The offensive line has had its struggles in that department, and bringing in a player like Risner could address a significant need. Beyond the technical aspects, there's also value in adding players who contribute positively to the team's culture, leadership, work ethic, and the ability to mentor younger. Players are intangible assets that often go overlooked. Risner has been recognized for his off-field contributions and community involvement, traits that align well with the 49ers' organizational values. While no single signing is going to be a magic bullet, these are the kinds of incremental improvements that can make a difference over the course of a long NFL season. Whether it's adding a capable receiver like Davis or bolstering the offensive line with a veteran like Risner, every move is a piece of the larger puzzle. As fans, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of blockbuster trades and high-profile acquisitions. But often, it's the under-the-radar signings that have the most meaningful impact. The 49ers front office understands this, and their methodical approach reflects a clear vision for building a championship-caliber roster. Looking ahead, it would be fascinating to see how these potential additions fit into the broader strategy. Free agency is always a dynamic period, and there's no shortage of speculation about who might be coming or going. The team's current cap situation, contract negotiations, and long-term planning all play into these decisions, making it a complex and ever-evolving process. There's also the question of whether a trade could materialize, bringing in one player while sending another out. These scenarios are never as simple as they seem, especially when contracts, cap hits, and player valuations are taken into account. The player currently being discussed has several years remaining on his contract, which complicates any potential transaction. Nonetheless, the intrigue is real, and it will be interesting to see how things unfold. In the Bay Area, expectations are sky high, and every roster move is scrutinized through the lens of whether it brings the team closer to a Super Bowl. Fans are passionate, informed, and vocal, and their engagement adds another layer to the conversation. As always, the comment section is open for your thoughts, reactions, and hot takes. Let's keep the discussion going. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Tyreek Hill has officially signed with the San Francisco 49ers, marking a significant shift in the NFL landscape. Known for his explosive speed and playmaking ability, Hill's arrival in San Francisco has set the stage for what could be an electrifying new chapter in his illustrious career. The wide receiver, who was previously with the Miami Dolphins, has been one of the league's most consistent and dangerous threats over the past few seasons, and his decision to join the 49ers is bound to send shockwaves through the NFC West. The 49ers, already stacked with talent on both sides of the ball, have now added one of the most dynamic weapons in the game to their offensive arsenal. With Hill's ability to stretch the field, create separation, and score from anywhere on the field, San Francisco's offense just became one of the most potent in the NFL. Quarterback Brock Purdy, who has shown flashes of brilliance since taking over as the 49ers 49ers starter, will now have Hill as a key target, which should open up opportunities for other receivers like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk to thrive as well. For the 49ers, Hill's arrival is a clear message to the rest of the NFC. They are all in on making a Super Bowl run. The team's front office, led by General Manager John Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan, has consistently sought to improve the roster in hopes of breaking the franchise's Super Bowl drought. And the acquisition of Hill is a testament to their commitment. In Hill, they found not only a speedster, but a proven playmaker who can take over a game in an instant. On the other side, Hill's departure from the Dolphins is a tough blow for a franchise that has been rebuilding around young quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa, after a standout season in Miami where he set career highs in receiving yards and touchdowns, Hill's decision to leave may raise questions about the Dolphins' future offensive plans. Miami will now need to rely more heavily on their remaining receiving core and perhaps look for another game changer in the draft or free agency. For Hill, this move is an opportunity to chase the Super Bowl ring with a team that is stacked with talent and ready to compete for the top spot in the NFC. Having already established himself as one of the top wide receivers in the NFL, Hill will now look to add a championship to his already impressive resume. With the 49ers' potent defense and strong offensive line, Hill could finally be in the perfect situation to elevate his game even further. As the 2025 NFL season approaches, all eyes will be on the 49ers to see how Hill integrates into the offense and whether this move helps propel the team to its elusive 6th Super Bowl title. The combination of Hill's speed, Purdy's emerging leadership, and the 49ers' balanced roster promises to make San Francisco one of the most exciting teams to watch in the league this season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video, I want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers. Make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.